Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Black. Today, we're going to talk about episode 1 of season 8 of Ready to Love. Now, if this is your first time seeing my review, you're going to see that we're going to talk about some things that happened along the way in the episode, as well as my first impression on the cast members. So, let's start things off with Chris. Chris seems like he's a cool guy. I didn't like the fact that he didn't come freshly shaved. I didn't like the fact that he chose that outfit. Those plaid pants were a no-go. But if any man is going to be out here tucked in with a button-down shirt, you got to understand when you sit down and you stand back up, you got to make sure that you're still tucked in. Unless you have on a blazer or something like that that's covering up, you got to make sure you're still tucked in the back, and he didn't do that. The reason why this is important in this situation is because when he met Jessica, Jessica saw him for the first time, and she could have had some thoughts about him, negative thoughts about the way he dresses, if she felt that, that's how he came out. So you meet someone for the first time, got to make sure you check your clothes. More on Chris later. Up next, we got Jessica. Jessica, 37 years old. She seems to be into Chris. She's a coffee line owner. She was very pretty in her orange dress, right? Orange dress was nice. I didn't like the way she walked in those heels, though. The way she walked in those heels was just telling me she needs some additional training. No offense. She just needs some additional training. But she likes Chris, man. I'm interested to see how that goes, where that goes. She seems like a very opinionated person. I don't really know how that's going to trickle down the rest of the season, but we'll see. All right, so up next we have Philip. Now, Philip is 41 years old. He's an analyst. Now, Philip stated that he picked his outfit out like he was on the first day of school. Now, you and I have been on those first day of school situations. We make sure that our fit is fly to the T. At least I did. Now, Philip's outfit was not horrible, but it was not fly to the T. What Philip messed up in is that he got in his car with his jacket on. Fellas, you cannot get in your car with your sports jacket on and expect for it not to get wrinkled. Also, if you got a button down on or a sports jacket, you take your jacket off. With your button down, when you put your seatbelt on, you put your collar above the seatbelt so your collar does not become smushed and wrinkled also. So these are just keys I want to tell you guys, man, because presentation is everything. Women will say this all the time. Presentation is everything. I'm saying it as a man. Presentation is everything. So keep these things in mind. But you don't get into a car with your jacket on because it's going to be wrinkled, as Philip's jacket was wrinkled in the back. And those wrinkles can make you look from dapper to trash. And it just didn't give what it was supposed to be given. So sorry, Philip. Philip rubbed me the wrong way when he said about the toes. The toe game comment was so inappropriate. I know there are men out here who have toe fetishes and different other type of fetishes. That's not the first thing you do when you introduce yourself to a woman. So when Philip did that, I was blown away that he thought that was actually appropriate. So these are reasons why, I say that men have to know and learn how to talk to women better, because that was completely wrong for him to do that. So, of course, he got the response that I thought he was going to get anyway for saying something like that. So be a little bit more crafty what you're saying. Say something. Give a compliment to that person that you're talking to, but don't talk about their toes, man. Best thing to do is give a compliment from the neck up. When you meet a woman for the first time, give a compliment from the neck up. That's the safest thing. Nice hair, nice smile, nice eyes. That's cool. But anything else, first time, can be inappropriate. All right, so there was something else that Philip said, man, that kind of just made me look at him with that wow look. He was asked, what quality in a woman does he find most appealing or that he's into the most? And he said that he looks at a woman for how she's able to heal. Now, I know what he meant to do with this statement. It just fell flat because he was trying to be deep, but that wasn't the time to be deep. Just say what you like. If you like a woman who's tall, short, long hair, short hair, natural hair, relaxed hair, just say what you like. Be honest about that. But that whole healing thing, and that's the thing, man. Some people try to go too deep too soon, and that throws off the whole chemistry, the whole connection by trying to be deep. It's not necessary to be deep to have someone to be attracted to you or to show that you're attracted to someone else. It just happens naturally. But with Philip, that was a horrible answer in my opinion. Tell me what you guys think. All right, so up next we have Aries. Aries is 43 years old. She has 2 boys. She's a software development manager. Very pretty smile. Very pretty smile from Aries. Don't know a whole lot about her. They didn't really focus on her a lot this episode, but they did focus on her sons. She did have a couple of really good conversations. Those conversations were good enough to keep her from going home. So hopefully looking forward to learning more about Aries. All right, so next up we have Tequila. So Tequila is 35 years old. She's a marketing assistant. She rubbed me the wrong way with the conversation she had with Philip. Why are you asking this man about favorite positions? Why are you asking this man about craziest places he ever had sex? These things you cannot ask on first. It turns a man's mind into somewhere else that you don't want or you're not ready for it to go. And this was a great point of that, because what ended up happening when she started it, she started something she couldn't finish. So when she started it, then he asked about the clubs. Then she was like turned off or caught off guard with the way the conversation was going. You can't do that. You can't plant that seed and then when it started to grow, you want to kick it all down. You can't do that. So to me, I think that that's something that Tequila should never bring up in a first conversation. Ladies, I'm sure you agree with this. You can't say you want a man of value. You want a man who treats you right, do all these great things for you, but you start things off with on a sex-based conversation. If you cannot hold a genuine conversation without bringing that up on a first date, that's a problem. I'm saying you can't talk about it on the first date. You can't, those conversations can happen if it's organic, but to start the conversation off with that, I think it was a big no-go for Tequila. And that's what made her get in the bottom. So stuff like that. The conversation that she was having with men, she thought that was something that men wanted to hear. And it turns out that's a turnoff for us. If you want our attention, you say you want a man of substance, give me something to believe that. So for me, I was with men on that to vote her out. I'm sorry. I was done. All right. So next up we have Habibi. Habibi is 35 years old. He's a musician. What Habibi started off doing was really putting himself in the bottom of the pool, right? Because he started talking about this musicianship. He started talking about how he is with his saxophone, how he swoons people and this, that, and the other. Women can't understand his lifestyle. That's what happened in a few seasons ago where that was talked about, the musician life. Women are not trying to hear that. Women are not trying to hear how other women are not jealous, but how women can't take the fact that you get a lot of attention doing X, Y, and Z. They want to know about you. And he really started to go that route in a few conversations he had. And I thought he was going to get voted off, but he turned it around and started having more, I would say in depth, but he started having a little better conversations. But the big red flag that he put out there himself was that he has a child, but he has a child with a woman that he only knew for 11 days, right? 11 days. And that can come off to some people as being irresponsible. Why are you being unprotected within 11 days of meeting someone? That's the big thing. Not saying you can have a child in 11 days, but making a decision to be unprotected, making a decision to just be that careless can come off in this situation. So Habibi got to be really careful about the conversations he has, because he needs to try to make more connections and stop talking so much about himself. That part is what's missing. All right, next up we have Sierra. Sierra is a stylist. We didn't get much information on Sierra. She seemed like she's pretty cool. The guys who did get an opportunity to interact with her had positive things to say about her, which was enough for her not to be voted at the bottom. So they want to see more of Sierra. I'm interested in seeing how she's going to pan out the rest of the season as well. And I guess more to come on Sierra. All right, next up we have Leanne. Now, Leanne, 49 years old. She's a gym owner. Now, with Leanne, I think that, She came on, she said, I want guys to, focus on what I have in my mind, not just the body. It's kind of, it kind of comes with the territory, though. I'm not sure if she's aware of it, but if you're a gym owner, your whole business is a part of sculpting the body, right? So you want to look good. That's why people go to the gym. So if people are looking at you and saying you look good, that's actually a compliment. That's actually a conversation starter for your gym, or whatever. But I think it's kind of, I think it's kind of thinking the wrong way when you think that someone's looking at you about your body and you're in that field. So I couldn't get that. But what I also didn't like what Leanne was doing, which cost her spot on the show, was that she kept talking about astrology. Like that was her go-to. Astrology is a cool topic, but not everyone is into it. And when someone is giving you the vibe they're not into astrology, you got to stop right there. Talk about something else. Don't keep going deeper. Don't keep trying to tell someone about themselves when you don't know them. People take that very offensively. So when it comes to astrology, only a certain amount of people really like it, really are really into it like that. She seems to be one, but the men that she was engaging with does not seem to be a part of that world. All right, so next up we have Herbert. He's 37 years old. Herbert is an aviation manager. He seems like a cool guy, but those color choices for that suit, you can't layer those like it wasn't. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm talking about the clothes, but it's very important how a man presents himself, how he dresses. So that part I cannot ignore. With Herbert's layering, what was it, like that deep wine color, and then you had the deep, almost in the pink family. It was like wine on wine, but it was just different types of vibe to it. It just wasn't a good look for me. But I will say Herbert seems like he's cool because the women had positive things to say about him. His conversation was engaging. So, hey, it may work for him. We'll see how his outfits look in the future. All right, next up we have Marvin. Marvin is 41. He's an author, erotic author. When brother said that on the weekends, he turns his apartment into a dungeon, I was like, whoa, like that's going to be a hard pill for a lot of women to swallow. So for me, I think that he really needs to think about how he's going to keep doing that, and also keep a woman who doesn't think that he's interested in any other women that come to these dungeons to hear him read. So to me, that's going to be a tall pill to take right there. So good luck to him on that. We didn't get a lot with Marvin. Marvin seems to have good conversation. Jessica seems like Unique seems like she's into Marvin, but we got to see why Unique is into Marvin, because she seems like she's into the things he's doing. And that sounds like a good time to me. It doesn't sound like someone who's really trying to be in a committed relationship. All right, next up we have Unique. Speaking of Unique, she's 31 years old. She's a TV and film producer, giving me strong Keke Palmer vibes. She looks very similar. Now, I'm going to say just alike. I'm not going to say that to a T, but she gives Keke Palmer vibes. And she gives that, the version of her that may have gotten like a lip injection, because her lips are very full. Kiki's not as full as hers, but they very much favor to me. Look, guys, let me know if you feel me on that or not. But but Unique, being a film and television producer, she was into, like I said, she's into Marvin. So we're going to see more interaction between them. I'm just trying to see what Unique is really there for. That's what it boils down for me with her. All right, so next up we have Quentin. Quentin is 33 years old. He is a personal trainer. And Quentin said he's looking for the one. So when you say you're looking for the one, I want to see that. And he's giving that vibe. He's giving the vibe that he's looking for the one. He's not giving the vibe that he's a playboy or anything like that. But everyone knows that you got to be careful with personal trainers, because they have female clients that they get involved with. There is a rumor about that when it comes to personal trainers. So something they really have to keep an eye on. Second, the thing about Quentin that gives me a rough time is the brother don't have a mustache. I can't trust you with no mustache, sir. I can't understand or believe anything you have to say if you coming into the conversation with no mustache. How is your face covered in hair but you don't have a mustache. Beard, goatee, all that. No mustache. I can't trust it. All right, up next we have Kira. She is 30 years old. She's a realtor. Says she's on the show to find her person. But I don't think that's true with those boots on. You can't be coming to the show finding anybody with those boots on. I would have sent her home on those boots alone. But that's just me. Now, she seems like she's cool. She seems like she has an outgoing type of personality, but those boots was throwing me off. But come to find out, she was a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, so that explains the boots, because those are exactly the boots that they have on. So it seems like she decided to steal a pair and wear them on the show. All right, so next up we have Janelle. Janelle's 41 years old. She's a creative director. Janelle told let everybody know that she was adopted, okay, and she wants to have an adopted child when this time comes. I think that's very admirable. I think that's dope. But when you have something like that that your heart is into, you have to make sure that your partner is on the same lines, because not as many people as we think we know, will be accepting the fact that they just can get an adopted child without having their own, if they don't have their own. So as long as you can find someone who doesn't disrespect her wishes when it comes to that, even if they disagree, just respect the fact that that's what she wants to do and be able to move on, then I think it could work if she finds someone who's aligned with her. She seems like she's cool. Her conversations with the guys it's right on the spot for me. It gives you the friendly vibe. It gives you the I can be your woman vibe as well. It gives we can have a good time, go out for drinks, or we can laugh together. All of that was ball in one. So our conversation so far is good. A lot of the guys are connecting with her, and I think that's a good sign right there. All right, up next we have Red. He's 42 years old. He's a DJ and a comedian. Red seems like he's a cool guy, man. That job though, DJ comedian, can ruffle some feathers in a sense of dating. A lot of women don't trust it, which is why Unique said what she said. But I don't think that's really the bottom line of why Unique said that to him, that he had a thought job. And I think that statement was very disrespectful, by the way. You can't talk about someone's job like that. Like if he said that you produce cartoons instead of movies, you'll take offense to that. Some people would, maybe not. But I'm saying that you want to be respectful as possible. But what she did in doing that was clearly stating, because she felt that he was into her. What she did was clearly state that I'm not into you. But she could have done that in other ways without being rude, right? So my thing is that, ladies, if you have an opportunity to tell a man that you're not interested, you don't have to be rude with every man. Some men, you got to put your foot down. I get it, but not every man deserves that. Red, he understood the assignment. When it came to the fact of her saying that, he was like, yo, I'm not into her anymore. And that's a smart man. That's a man who knows his value. Because some men will still try to pursue, even being turned down or being said something so disrespectful. And that is something that people will sometimes throw out there to see exactly how much they can get away with. So you got to keep that in mind from the men's viewpoint and also the women's viewpoint as well. When it comes to that, be careful. All right, so next up we have Brandon. Brandon's 36 years old. He's a train dispatcher. Now, of course, the big news with Brandon is him saying he's divorced for 6 months. He has 4 kids. That's a tall order there, brother, because not only were you divorced once, you were divorced twice. So that gives a flag there that this is about rebound, right? No one is going to think you're ready. No matter how much you say, you may very well be ready to move forward. But because it's only been 6 months, no one's going to believe that you're ready. Now, it's one thing to be truthful and honest up front, but certain things, I mean, the divorce was enough, but saying how long it was and everything, that just added to it. So I'm not saying be deceptive, but just you got a lot of stuff going on, bro. And because of that, ain't nobody gonna pick you on this show. But what I did like also was Chris's response, man. When he was like wowzers, and he was like, he's kind of egging into the whole thing of the ladies should not choose him. To me, I think that was a bit much. Just man to man. Like, if I'm up against another man to woo or pursue a woman, I'm not going to down talk this man. I'm gonna just be me. I'm gonna just do me. If me being me and doing me is not enough, then I'm fine. But though it was just some hater vibes I got from Chris when he did that in front of the ladies like that. So I understand that you could have hit him like it hit the ladies, but as a man, we got to be able to control those type of emotions. We got to be able to control when to say things, when not to say things. I think he did that for the sole purpose of having more women fly to him or for them to send him home. Which I understand it's a game. I understand it's a strategy on the show, but it's just a bad look from man to man. All right, so next up is Lee. Lee's 34 years old. She is a health coach. So Lee, okay, I know I've been hearing already that men have been going crazy about Lee. Lee is fit. Body, okay. I can't argue that. Certain things you can argue, some things you can't argue. Lee has a nice body. What kills it for me with Lee, man, I'm being 100% transparent, honest with you guys about this, is the makeup. Her makeup doesn't match her skin tone. Now, Riri, aka Rihanna, has gone great lengths to give you guys exactly what number you need. Exactly what number you need. You know what I'm talking about. So my thing is that why hasn't she found that number yet? But she is. I do like her voice. For some reason, I don't know why. It's a little scratchy, but I like her voice. But there will be a no for me. Y'all can call Cap if you want to. I would more likely go with Aries before I would go with Lee. But it's not taking anything else away from Lee. Just the makeup application to me. We're too old to not know how to do that at this stage. Just like a woman will look at a man with about his nails, about his teeth, about his shoes, things that you have control over making neat, clean, something to be desirable. We have an opportunity to correct those things. So that's all I'm saying. Not downing her as a woman, just saying that that particular skill set should already be addressed. That's all I'm saying. All right, so next up we have Maurya. Maurya is 36 years old. He's a business owner. Maurya seems like he can be a cool guy, man, especially the way he came to the aid of Tequila when she was being voted off, when she was up on the chopping block. But for me, I think that him speaking on his dad, if he has to use that as a conversation starter, to me, it just seemed like he wasn't ready. He's not ready to go into this type of journey because of the simple fact that it seemed like he was using it in conversations to start off conversations, right? If that's a critical point in your life, right? It's not saying that the woman in your life shouldn't know about the things that have really affected you, positive or negative. Those are definitely conversations you should have. But the way he presented it seemed like he was searching for condolences. Because if you're speaking, because there's been plenty of times I've spoken about loved ones lost. I've heard other people speak about their loved ones that they're lost, but they don't stop when someone else says, someone else fails to say, "I'm sorry to hear that," or it's just to show their condolences. They keep going with their story. Same thing with me. I don't stop. I've never stopped. I just keep going my story because that's not where I wanted to stop. He made sure he stopped right there. But also, at the same time, Leanne's response was dry. It was dry, as if this is not the conversation we should be having. Now, I agree with the fact that it wasn't a conversation they should be having, but she could have done a better job of showing that she's listening, actively listening, instead of disregarding exactly what he was saying. So that could possibly throw it off as well. But I just don't think that the conversation should have gone there at all. These deep conversations about your past in such a way where it's going to show or draw a red flag above your head, why would you volunteer certain information? Not necessarily his father passing, but it's just volunteering information in general where it is something that can draw that red flag. I don't think that everyone understands what a red flag is. So it's something that you really gotta look at, man, and pay attention to, because sometimes we hurt ourselves in a dating situation, a dating game. All right, so this is where I come in and I tell you guys who I think has the best connection based off the first episode alone, because we don't have anything else to go off of. To me, I think that Janelle and Herbert seem to have a really good connection. I also think Quentin and Lee seem to have a real good, solid connection. Those two are the only ones I'll be like, okay, I think they're going to make at least an episode or two further down the line, trying to get to know each other better. Because the connection, the conversation seems to be stronger with these two couples than the other ones that I've seen. But if you guys have seen another couple that you felt that was a good match, just by eyesight or just by conversation, put it in the comments, let me know. Don't forget to like, share, comment. All of it is appreciated, man. We're really trying to get this channel to grow, so your participation is greatly appreciated. Again, it's your boy Black. Until next time, it's going to be good. Peace.